Hey guys, Daryl here. This is not one of my typical videos, just something I thought was important to share. Before I get too far into this, I want to let you know that this video will not be monetized and will go unlisted after about 3 or 4 days, meaning if you want to see it again in the future, you'll want to save the link somewhere or save this to a playlist. I come to you today with a story and with a challenge. The story goes like this. For a long time now, I have been a big fan of a streamer/YouTuber by the name of Desmond Mofa, better known as Etika. If you followed him before or follow the Nintendo community, you probably know where this is going. Etika was incredibly fun to watch. He was a natural-born entertainer, and if you tuned into one of his streams, you never really knew what to expect, and it was awesome. But I keep referring to him in the past tense because this past June, Etika took his own life. I always really looked up to Etika as a YouTuber, despite the fact that our creative endeavors were extremely different. I always admired how he was never afraid or ashamed to be exactly who he wanted to be or make whatever he wanted to make. And just having his streams of him doing his thing on in the background while I edited and did my own thing made me feel like I was part of something bigger. And let me be clear, I never met Desmond, but when you look up to someone like that and you spend a ton of time watching or listening to them, it feels like you know them even if they've never met you. Losing Etika, I think, for a lot of us felt like losing a friend. Of course, I've always known of suicide, but it's never shaken me quite like it did when I got the news back in June. So I sort of sat and was alone with my thoughts about what happened to him for a couple of weeks. I stopped working on my channel and just, between crying and pretending to be fine, tried to wrap my head around what had happened. When I first got out of college, my first job was in a call center for the university. And without fail, there were times of the year when things would be incredibly busy and times when we only had a handful of calls per day. And amidst all the videos and articles about Etika's death that would plug the suicide prevention hotlines at the end, I wondered if there were peak times for those phone lines. Are there regular times during the year when folks feel the most desperate? So I went to the subreddit r/people-who-work-at. If you don't know, it's a subreddit where you can go and ask people questions about their employment. So I asked people who work at suicide prevention centers, is there a peak time of day or even of the year? And the answers I got genuinely hurt to read. As it turns out, the holidays was the most common response. The time of year when we're all supposed to be happy, when we shouldn't be alone, when we should be with family, celebrating another year finished, time away from school and work, time for laughter, peace, and sleeping in. Time that should be woven into our memories for years to come. And realizing that amidst all of the celebration, there are people out there seriously contemplating ending their life it's heartbreaking. As I thought about this, I sort of realized that the holiday season is a double-edged sword. It carries with it a time for happiness, but also the expectation of happiness. If you aren't with your loved ones because of family drama, work, or simply because you don't have loved ones anymore, knowing that the rest of the world is off having a wonderful time has to be the most isolating feeling ever. And let's be real, you don't have to be alone to feel lonely. I think we all understand the empty feeling of sitting around with your relatives and not feeling like you can really be yourself around them. It's no wonder so many of us want to just get through the holidays. Now, I realize that Etika passed away well before the holiday season, but I wanted to explain what had me in this frame of mind. This story is not about Etika, it's about you and about me, and about all of the people in our lives. Which brings me to the challenge. I challenge you to reach out to someone that you think might be lonely this holiday season. Someone that maybe you used to be friends with but don't really talk to anymore. It can be a family member, a classmate, a colleague. I encourage you to get a hold of them, be it a phone call or a text, or even just messaging them on social media. Get in contact with them directly, individually, and let them know that you're thinking about them. Start a conversation. Ask them what their plans are for the holidays, what they're doing, how they've been. Believe me, I know talking to people is hard. I'm one of the most introverted people that you'll ever meet. But one thing I've discovered that typically makes socializing a lot easier is just asking questions and then taking an interest in what that person has to say, and then do it again and again. Sometimes all people really want is someone to listen and care about what they have to say. So connect with someone this holiday season. Invite them to hang out. Go see Star Wars together. Go see Cats together. Ask them what they're excited about. Are they playing or watching anything good right now? What do they like about that thing? And then listen to what they have to say without judging or criticizing. And I'll be honest, I have a degree in psychology, but I am certainly not a licensed therapist or a counselor. My entire point here is that I think what we all really crave around this time of year is intimacy. To not feel alone and to spend time with people who make us feel like we matter, because you do matter. So this holiday season, make a connection with someone. Let's be better to one another and not get so caught up in what the holidays are supposed to be. If you feel frustrated because you aren't having the Hallmark Channel Christmas, it's okay. You're not alone, and there is nothing wrong with you. Don't let the pressure to have a good time keep you from having a good time. Take a deep breath and cut yourself a little bit of slack. This video probably won't get a ton of views compared to my typical videos, and that's totally fine. But if 1,000 people watch, and half of those people reach out to someone they care about, and half of those people feel even just a little bit less lonely, that's still over 200 people that you have helped. And if you are that person that's hurting and desperately wants to be heard, then I recommend that you reach out to that someone on your mind. Because when you make that connection with another person, it helps you too. Genuine conversation helps both people. And of course, if you truly are struggling with dark thoughts, talk to someone. Please talk to someone. And if you don't have anyone, then you can find someone. There are people that want to talk and are qualified to help. There is no shame in how you're feeling, so please talk to someone. And if you can be that person to talk to. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Happy holidays, and hang in there.
Actually, Lucy, my trouble is Christmas. I just don't understand it. Instead of feeling happy, I feel sort of let down.
I know how you feel about all this Christmas business, getting depressed and all that. It happens to me every year.